Hey, what's up guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews. And today we are taking a look at Warbird, or Miss Marvel if you're nasty. This is part of their celebrating 85 years of Marvel Legends. I don't know, Hasbro 85? Has Hasbro been around for 85 years? I suppose that's what that is. Really nice picture on the back of the box. I wish the figure looked like this though. I mean, look at the musculature of her. Look at her bust. She's rather busty in this picture. Nice muscularity in the legs. Be nice if that's actually what they gave us. I'm not saying it's a bad figure. I don't know. I haven't taken it out the package, but just looking at it through the package, it's clearly not quite where they went. But yeah, that is it for the package. Let's go ahead and get her out the box and see what we have. Right, so here we have her out of the packaging, and for Marvel Legends, she looks fine. I have heard people rant and rave about this figure. There's some good things about it. There's definitely some Hasbro being Hasbro things about it. But let's go ahead and get a closer look at the details. So the head sculpt is very nice. I will say this, and I think mine has some issues there. Has some lines there in her forehead. That's unfortunate. I didn't see that when I picked. I did find this at a Walmart, or not a Walmart, a Target. So but that's unfortunate. I would have picked the other one. There was two there. I should have got two. But the face sculpt is done very nicely. I do like that a lot, and I will give props to Hasbro that they have really stepped up their face tech. Whatever they're using to improve their figures' faces, they're doing a good job. Now, they are very hit or miss. They do sometimes give you that uncanny valley look to the character that doesn't match. But in this case, I don't think they do. I think this can, I mean, yes, it does have some realism to it. That it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a good balance, I guess, for what you're looking for. I would like them to lean more toward the comic booky face, but if they give it a good balance like this one, I'm okay with it. So it's a good face. It's a nice sculpt. The hair is highlighted. It's got like light blind and kind of like a darker blind highlight going on there. You can really see it at the top there. So that's really good. The paint on the lightning bolt is done very nicely. Actually, I don't have really any issues with mine. As far as Hasbro is concerned, I don't have any issues with the paint. So I do like that. Now, I will say it's always going to be difficult to paint over black, try to paint skin tone over black. And so that's clearly what they have had issues with this shoulder here. Clearly they have some paint issues there, and it is it's actually very noticeable. You can really see it on this side. It is very noticeable. I would almost say they should cast the body in, which they would never do, obviously, because they're cheap bastards. But I feel like they should have just casted it all in like a flesh color and then painted black over the flesh, instead of trying to paint flesh over black, because it's always going to look like shit. You can tell they did it here on the bicep too. It looks like shit, but they're just lazy motherfuckers, and they don't want to have to do that much painting. But it would be way better for them to have cast this in the flesh tone, and then painted the black, and then painted the gold, lightning bolt. But they didn't do that, and so that's why you get shit like this. So that's what I said. Hasbro is going to do Hasbro things, and they could have a good product that's good almost all around, but they don't want a good product that's good almost all around. They want to do shit like this. Like, look at her butt. Look at her butt. The skin on her butt. It looks like shit. It's clearly a different skin tone than her legs, because the legs are cast in that color. So it looks like shit. But, you know, Hasbro is going to Hasbro. I do appreciate that they sculpted the boots this time. They didn't do what they did to Cable, which I do have Cable. I am going to do a review on him. But I do know what they did to his boots, and it's like shit. But at least they sculpted these, and obviously you can see that it is much easier to paint black over skin tone than it is to paint skin tone over black. That proves it right there, because I do believe this was cast. Well, This looks painted to me though. This looks painted, so I feel like this was also cast in skin tone and painted black. That looks painted to me. I could be wrong, but that looks painted to me, and I feel like they, yeah. So I could be wrong though, but I'm not wrong about it's easier to paint black over skin tone than it is to paint skin tone over black. The belt is what it is. It looks cheap, but it's a $25 figure. Not to say that they should be able to get away with cheap shit like this, but it's fine. It's fine. You know, we got companies like Jada Toys that can clearly sculpt a better belt than this, but you know, they're not a multi-billion-dollar company, so who's to say? But yeah, then the feet look like feet. They're not anything special. I have had issues standing her for some reason. The typical Hasbro issue, like for some reason they can't seem to find proper joint indent placements, like where you can where the limbs will hold correctly. I mean, it is a mass-produced figure, so I guess you're gonna have some issues sometimes, but I feel like I get this all the time. They put the thigh swivel in a terrible spot as usual. But we'll get to that on articulation. But yeah, overall, it's fine. I like it, I guess. I just get it. As usual, I'm frustrated with Hasbro doing Hasbro things and being a multi-billion-dollar company and constantly taking shortcuts for profit margins, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that is it for the aesthetics. Let's go ahead and get onto the accessories. All right, so for accessories, she does come with a pair of open hands like this. I'm not really gonna take them out the package because I'm not gonna use them. And then she comes with these fucking generic swirly effects that they have been giving us for every kind of power. This could be magic, this can be energy, this could be anything according to Hasbro. So they keep giving us that shit. So those are the two hands effect pieces. And then she also comes with another head. And I do like this head. This head looks good. I don't know why her mouth is slightly open. As you can tell, the mask is a little bit thicker. Don't ask me like what part of the comic where the mask was this way and the other way. I don't know. But the hair looks good on this one too. So, and that is it for accessories. So, typical Hasbro, I'll give you shit at accessories. All right, so as far as articulation, let's get the camera. All right, so for articulation, okay, so you're not going to get much movement out of this head. Let's see what they gave us here, because I didn't check. Pop this off. Okay, so they gave us the hinge joint. Well, at least they didn't paint it. So at least this was cast in this flesh tone plastic and not painted flesh tone, because that drives me crazy. If they had cast this in black, I would have instantly called this a shit figure, but they didn't. So good on that. They keep using this shit joint, but at least you didn't cast it in black. And she doesn't have like bobblehead syndrome, so her head sits on the peg really nicely, so that's really good. That shouldn't be one of the things that we have to look at, but for Hasbro products, a lot of times you do. So her head does turn very nicely. She does look down nicely. She cannot look up, unfortunately. It would have been nice for them to have given us some kind of flight head, because she's a flying character. But Hasbro. The butterfly joints. This is a surprise for me. I don't know. Was this on the Black Widow figure? When I do my comparisons, I'll check. But I don't recall them having a butterfly joint here, so that's really good. They are at least improving their female figures. They're giving them butterfly joints now, so I do love that. She can't get her arms up parallel. Bicep swivel here at the bicep. Obviously, they could have put it here instead of here, but that would require them to actually spend money on their figures. We do have a 90-degree, way more than 90 degrees should be. Yep, elbow there. And then as far as the ab crunch, you're not going to get too much out of it. Out a little bit. She's going to come back that far, so she does come back quite a bit. Forward, hardly at all. And then we got the side to side. Now she does get this crunch thing here, which I guess is where you're going to get most of your crunch, or you're going to get maximum about that much. And then backwards, you're going to get a shit ton. So I guess this is how she's going to fly, I guess, huh? Is that how they expected you to make her fly? That's exactly how they're posed in the comic books. She can get the splits at least that much. I would have liked to have seen full splits, but does she have a drop down? No, she doesn't. They have this ugly ass fucking thigh swivel here that completely ruins the sculpt when you turn it. They could have put it behind this boot, but that would require new tooling, and Hasbro doesn't do new tooling. Slightly, or way over 90 degrees there on her leg, or knee I should say. And then she does get an ankle rocker. She can move her foot up that far and down that far. So above average in some places, like the new butterfly joints. I don't see that they are really getting anywhere. They still don't quite do them right. I'll have to pull out another female figure that doesn't have these new butterfly joints to see how good they are. See how far back they go. They go back pretty far, but I would argue that that's more this joint than the actual butterfly joint. So like if you were to do like a punch or something without using that. Yeah, I mean, they kind of work. I guess they work a little bit. But I'm glad they're doing it, so I'm not going to complain. At least they're trying to improve. I would have liked this belt to lay somewhere else, because if you try to turn it around into the front, it makes it pop up like that, so it has to like flow around to the back to get it to sit properly on her. So maybe glue this here, and then you can be able to move this around any way you want to. But yeah, but that is it for articulation. Let's get on to some comparisons. All right, so here she is next to her buckmate, the Black Widow from last year. So yes, I didn't realize that the Black Widow did have the butterfly joint. She does, but in a second when I show you this next comparison, they just don't do them right. Like, this is the best I think I can. This is about the best I can do to get her to hold this gun, and she can't really do it across her chest or anything like that, just because these butterfly. While it's nice to have them there, it would be nice to have them there and then be a bit more functional. And in a minute, I'll show you a figure that actually has that capability. But here she is next to her buckmate, so they do share seemingly the same body. I don't know. I can't tell because Black Widow has a thicker jacket on her, a thicker bodysuit. But I think Captain Marvel is a little bit more bustier than her, but I would think that she should have been somewhere around, maybe obviously not as big as She-Hulk, but the bust size should have been. I think they need to go with this on smaller figures, to be honest with you, a more defined bust. I know that kind of sounds perverted. I'm not trying to sound perverted, but if these are supposed to be comic book characters, let's try to move more toward making them look like comic book characters. And this is just not a Hasbro thing. Mafex has a problem with making women that are supposed to be busty more busty. SH Figure Arts doesn't seem to. When they have a busty figure, they make them properly busty. But I see it more so in basically Marvel Legends and Mafex. But yeah, here they are next. Or here she is next to these two here. And then here she is next to a third-party figure, and this is the one I was talking about, this one here. And then next to SH Figure Arts Rainbow Mika. Is it Rainbow Mika? But this is how a proper joint should be. Proper butterfly. I don't know what's in here because I haven't taken it out. But whatever they did in here, for her to be able to stare down that sight, at least, I don't have it perfect. She can do it. But to get this pose, you will never be able to get something like that out of this character. And just because she doesn't hold a gun should not be a reason for you to limit articulation. I don't have any of the G.I. Joe figures, but I would argue that they probably can do something like this. And why from the same company they can't implement those same things into the rest of their other lines is a little ridiculous to me. She wouldn't be able to do this. So they need to figure it out because it's a bit ridiculous. But this is Pocket Arts. I forget what her name is. I just call her Army Girl. But even with this Rainbow Mika, so for instance, so if we use her butterfly joints, obviously you have to pull the arm. But I would argue it's not even a butterfly. It might be some of the butterfly joints, but this is the best that she can do. This is the best that she can get out of here. I can raise it up more, but she's not getting more than that, right? Now you can argue that yes, this is a much more expensive figure, especially now that she's not created anymore. But when she came out, she was, you know, typical SH Figure Art prices. And this is the articulation that she had here. So she has a bit of a butterfly joint here too, but way more busty, drastically more busty than Miss Marvel. And she can, obviously you have to go over her boobs, but she can get her arms up and around better than Miss Marvel can. And so, I mean, you can say that's not much more, but it's still more. And yes, she has to go higher, but look how, it's because her boobs are gigantic. She has hers aren't. on the box art, they're nice and busty, so they might not be this big, but they're bigger than that. So, you know, yeah, this is a much more expensive figure from a company that would be considered way more articulated than a Marvel Legend. But to implement this shouldn't be that much. I get it. This is a whole different joint system here, but if you're gonna do a butterfly joint, make it more useful than that. All right, here we go. This ugly ass old ass siren. Let's see. Also, I'm not. What body was this from? Because she has a stand peg in the back of her, in her back. So, let's see. With this siren, what can we get? So siren without the butterfly, she can get about that much. So let's see what the range is with the butterfly joint. What are we doing here? What exactly are we doing here? How big of a difference is it making? How big of a difference is it making? I can keep pushing this, and at this point, it's more or less me bending the plastic of the arms to push it more. I'm probably like bending this joint. It's not really I'm not incorporating that. I'm not incorporating that butterfly joint more. I'm just bending the arms more. I could probably do that with her too. See, I can just bend the arms and get it closer. So it's just it just needs to be reconfigured a little bit to give it better range, because this and this are beating it. Both more expensive figures, I give you that. But I don't. When I get more female Jada toys, more female Jada toy characters, I only have Chun-Li right now. Let me see. Let me take a look at you. Chun-Li wouldn't be a good example because she's just, her whole character design is just too different. So it wouldn't be a fair comparison. But when they come out with slimmer figures like that Cammy, let's see what they do with her, and let's see how her arms work, and let's see if she can do better than just this in this. Because while this is not bad, it should be better. So anyway, that's it for comparisons. Let's go ahead and get to my conclusion. Right, so in conclusion, I think for Marvel Legends, she's a good figure. If you just judge it on that merit, on the Marvel Hasbro Legend scale, it's a good figure. It's a really good figure. It's probably, you know, just as good as the Black Widow from last year. I did praise that a lot from last year, but that was the first time we got that buck. But the paint issues, really my issue with this is the paint issues. It just grinds my gears that they continue to just do stuff like paint flesh tone over black and act like we're not going to see it. I mean, I don't know who their QC department is or if they even have one. But this shouldn't pass QC in my opinion. There are some very good things about this figure, don't get me wrong. I know it does seem like I've been bashing it the whole review. I guess I kind of have been, but I haven't been really bashing the figure itself. I'm bashing Hasbro for creating a figure that is, while good, could have been better with just simple things, with simple changes. But anyway, if I was to rate it, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. But also, I want to say, why couldn't we have gotten this kind of effect piece instead of swirly? Where's swirly when it comes to what they're showing here? There's no swirliness to it. Yeah, there's no swirliness anywhere on here. Oops. So I don't understand why we couldn't have just gotten just a glowing fist effect, or even give us some giving us some hands that glow like that. Just give us some glowy hands. But you know. Anyway, that's it for the review. Comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.